Welcome back. Last but not least, we need to talk about the UI thread. This is our last puzzle in our masterpiece over here. Afterwards, we are pretty well prepared to hook everything in our Java code. The UI thread, that's the thread where all the action happens. And this is something we do not know to control right now. And this is a problem which we will find out in just a moment. For now, let's have a look into the following slide. So here we have our amazing game. This is the first version of this game. And within the first version, I have designed this boss class over here to have a visual output. So if you're creating a new boss, then we can apply some margin and then this boss will appear on our screen over here. Alright, how this looks like is the following. So we've got a lot of threads in our application over here. For example, this one. But one is really important. Within the Frida documentation, it's referenced as main thread. But regarding to our development, we might know this as an UI thread. This one over here. So the UI thread is responsible for placing all these objects onto our screen. We have made our first experience with the UI thread in our service topic. We did recognize, okay, we are not allowed to perform huge activities on this thread, on this UI thread, because if this thread over here is being blocked, then the application becomes unresponsive and will be terminated from the system. So regarding to our network traffic, we have to outsource this from the UI thread. Alright, therefore we know this UI thread, that's a very important part in our Android ecosystem over here. So this thread is being responsible for displaying all these objects over here. Alrighty. Now, if you want to create a new boss object in our first application, for example, this one over here, we need to place this on the UI thread. Otherwise, it will fail because the views that are necessary to place this element on our screen, these are only available in our UI thread. And therefore, Frida has also this amazing capability to find which of these threads is the main thread, and then we can use this part so we can choose the thread and place our code into this one. And this is absolutely amazing because this means we can now also create or interact with objects that are some kind of visual output on our smartphone over here. For example, we could set the text field lives, this one over here, to have a different text. Also this value, this one, or we can interact with things like this, creating a new object that is also being displayed on the screen. Amazing, right? Let's find out how we can do this. Alright, so now let's find out how we can perform this action in Frida, because this one, it's absolutely mind-blowing. Alright, let's do this. First, let's have a look into this app. So we get back our smartphone screen, and that's not the app I'm talking about. I mean, that's also an absolute fantastic app, but we are now talking about the first version of this one, Frida Funk. Alright, here we have it. And I guess we can only interact with this player and lose some life. Okay, so here we're having now our boss instance. And therefore, let's have a look into the source code first. So within apps, Frida Funk. Yes, here we have this application. So under COM app hacking, Frida Funk, we've got this. Oh, in this example, it's named alien. I'm sorry for this one. Here we are just having an alien, not a boss. All right. Here we can see this alien, this constructor over here is printing out this icon or this graphic on the screen. This means if we are creating an alien, we are interacting with the visual output over here. So we are interacting with the UI thread. And within the main activity, we can see this happens over here. So within the onCreate method over here, we are having a reference to this thread. Everything we are placing over here has a reference to this UI thread, and therefore we can simply create a new alien object over here. Okay, so now let's try to create an instance of this object. So we are creating a new one, and let's see what's happening. I mean, regarding to the constructor over here, we know all we need to provide is an integer value. That's absolutely no big deal. Therefore, let's find out how good this goes. All right? Okay. To do this, we simply open up our Visual Studio Code Editor and we are creating a new file. We are selecting JavaScript And now let's see, we are putting this on the left and here we're having the code on the right. All right, creating a new instance. So what we need to do is the following. We need to do something like this. Okay, this means we need to get the class reference and then we need to have this new operator on this class reference to create a new instance. We need to provide an integer value over here. Let me close this one. So here we are providing the integer value and this should work, right? We have done this dozens of times right now. So let's see. Okay, first we need to attach to the Java virtual machine our anonymous function. Okay, and here we now need our class reference and to the alien class. So this is our alien class reference and we can get this with java.use and then package name dot, that's not a dot, that's a dot, dot, and then the class name, alien. All right, now we're having our class reference, so this part is done. Now we create a new instance. Alien instance equals, so that's the left part over here. And now we need to call this one. So class reference dot $new and then our value, the margin. Let's take a margin from 300. So regarding to the margin, let's see. Let me enlarge this. Okay, I'm not sure what's the ID parameter over here. I mean, I guess that's left, that's right, and this might be the top. So regarding to left and right, yes, it has to be this way. So this is our main layout. Maybe let's show it over here on the app. Okay, so here we have it. Let's put this on the side. All right, we are having here our object, this one. And this one has now some layout. And we can see the margin, I guess the value 3, and this one is the margin top. This means we're having a margin top from whatever we provide over here. Sorry, this way. And so if you're providing a margin from 300, then this object moves 300 points down into the screen. And these two, and this one and this one, and this needs to be or should be left and right, the margin. If we do not set a certain value, the object over here will be automatically being centered. Yes. So this should be the code over here. Okay. And so if you're creating a new one right now, the only thing we can change is this one over here. So how far upwards or downwards this object will move. This newly created object. So afterwards there should be this one over here. That's a perfect circle. Yes. So this is our new alien object and that's the margin. All right. Let's clear the screen real quick that you cannot see my shameful drawing. All right, this means we are providing a margin from 300. So we are moving this object from top 300 points downwards. Yes, that's how it is. And let's see. Let's start our Frida server. Data local temp. Alrighty, this one is in the background over here. And now let's open a new one. And let's connect to this one. So the package name, this one over here, that's also the package identifier. So we are having com app hacking Frida Funk. Okay, let's connect to this one. Frida-u com app hacking Frida Funk. Yes, there's a typo. Com app hacking. Okay. Now we're connected. Let's see if we can create our new alien boss in this way. Alrighty, let's do this. We keep this in foreground and we are creating one in 3, 2, 1. Oh, we're getting an error. Surprise. Let's see. Android view root implementation. Only the original thread that created a view hierarchy can touch its views. All right. We need to go into the main thread of this application and then we can interact with views on this one. Alright, this is something we have already figured out in the theory part on the slides. But now, how can we do this in Frida? Therefore, let's have a look into the documentation. So on frida.re within docs, we've got this JavaScript API. And to be honest, this is now definitely not easy to find. So therefore, I highly recommend you, if you go into the, let's see, instrumentation within Java, that you read through all of this at least once, because there's a lot of stuff in here. And yeah, I mean, most of the things we have already encountered, but things like this, they can be also super handy. For example, we can enumerate loaded classes and things like this. Normally, I do not like to do it in Frida. I like to reverse engineer an application statically over here, but it might be handy in some way. Okay, if we scroll down, let's see if we can find this one. Here we have it. It's directly under this one, but yeah, you might not even recognize this. Run and function on the main thread of this VM. Alright, so we are having Java schedule on main thread, and then we are having our anonymous function over here. Within this function, we can then perform an action which is running on the main thread. Alright, absolutely amazing. Let's copy paste this into our script. Okay, so alien class reference, there's no UI interaction in there. We are just getting the reference. Therefore, we are absolutely safe having this outside of this function right now. Underneath this one, we copy or we paste now this function in. And here, let's see. I forgot about, yes, it's a function, okay. So this is a function, and here we are now providing our anonymous function. So let's comment this over here. Get on the main thread and execute what's inside this function. Alright, now we need to interact with the main thread. Therefore, this one over here, which is creating a new view, needs to be in this main thread. So we take this one into here, and now let's see if this works. We copy this, and then we are opening our Frida terminal, and let's see. We paste it in, and in 3, 2, 1, there we have it. Amazing. The offset is not that large, so we can see it. I guess it's the one behind this object over here. So we can now see two objects. In case if this is not happening for you right now, then you can simply refresh this view by putting it once in the background and then reopening it. Then the view should appear over here. So sometimes the view does not get refreshed automatically, but I'm not 100% sure when it's the case and when not, because we can see this one over here is being displayed directly on the screen. Alright, nice. So maybe let's change this value just a little bit to 500. Here we have another one. Now let's pack this into a for loop. So this is freaking awesome, having some visual output of all of our instances right now. So here we do it. We are creating a new for loop. For bar equals 0. I equals 0. I is less than, let's say, 1000. And we increase I by 100. Because we need to apply a different margin over here. Otherwise, we wouldn't see this visual output like we have it here. So let's paste this in. And we choose here this I. Yes. So now we are creating, let's do the math, 10 new objects. Let's copy this. And there we have it. All right, nice. So this is absolutely freaking amazing. We can now also interact with all these other elements. For example, this lives text field over here, this value, this one, or we can also make some text output over here. So this toast message. Maybe let's do this. Let's create a new toast message that appears over here. Okay, therefore let's have a look into the official documentation, because we need to get the class reference of this toast class. And then we need to identify if the message that's being created, what type this method is. If it is an instance method, then we need to create a new instance and display it over here. And in case of a static method, we can simply use the class name .method name. So let's find this out right now. We are going into the official documentation. So we are searching for Android developer toast, Toast's overview, or maybe this one. I have chosen the second one. Okay, to create a message, we have to call the method makeText. Let's see if we can find them. Here we have it. Seems to be overloaded. Yes. So here we can see this is a static method. Amazing. We do not have to create a new instance. So we can simply call our makeText method on our class reference. And here we're having a resource ID. And this one here, this has a char sequence. Okay, so now we know we need to overload this makeText with this, from this type. So the second parameter needs to be in char sequence. This is the text that's being displayed. Okay, so I mean, this one over here is now really deep into Android programming, but I just want to show you how we can interact with this UI thread. It's not really Frida related anymore. This is now more Android development. Nevertheless, I would like to show this to you. So let's go back. Okay, let's take note. This is the method we want to call. All right, makeText. So now we need to do this in the UI thread. So over here. And let's also comment this a little bit. In class reference to the toast class, we want to display some text on the screen. Okay. And this is the method we want to call. Method we want to call. And here we're having this class reference. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to get our class reference and then dot the method name. This one. And let's see the parameters. All right, context. So this one over here is a little bit unfortunate, but we will also deal with this one. And context is a little bit more complicated. You can think of this like really having in context. This toast message, makeText function, needs to know on which context it needs to be printed. In our case right now, this means in our application over here, it needs to be printed onto the screen, on this main activity screen. And this is the context we need to provide over here. And we can get this also with Frida. I guess that's in one-liner. But I really want to give you the context of this one over here. So you will encounter this a lot regarding to views, because these views are having some context where they are being displayed. And this one is the main activity right now. All right? Okay. Next, we've got a char sequence. So that's not a string. We need to get to the class reference to this one, because this one needs to be also provided in our method. And then we're having int duration. Okay, this one, we can deal with this one. But the rest, yeah, to be honest, it's tough. Nevertheless, let's see how we can do this. Okay, so let's see. First, let's deal with this one over here. We're creating a new variable context, and we can get this with java.use. And here we have now to provide the class name of the activity thread. So let's see if we can find this somewhere. I mean, at the end, we only need to have the first part regarding to the activity, because instead of an activity, we can use activity thread. So maybe let's see if you take a look in JDX. No. Oh, sorry, not here. Maybe here. Yeah, here we're having this one. Let's have a look into the official documentation. So within activity, here we have it. It's within Android app, and then we've got activity, and we've also got activity thread. Okay, so we copy this one. All right, now we're having this one, and we can now call these methods on this one. And this is now also Java code right now. So this is how you would get the context in Java code. You say get application context from the activity. And we are doing exactly this over here right now. And so we say we want to have the current application. And then we want to get the application context. So this is right now plain Java code. You could open up Android Studio and you can write this in your Java code to fetch the application context. You could write your own application to fetch the application context, and then, yeah, we are simply getting this activity thread, and then we are executing those two methods on this. All right? Okay. So now we're having the context. Let's see. And this one is required as a parameter over here. And this one was rough, but I guess it works in this way. Okay, next one, we've got this char sequence. And this one, I mean, it's just an output text. We could look this up in the documentation to get the exact type, but to be honest, I just tried over here. So we simply try some text. Frida is amazing, also with the UI. Udemy app hacking is also amazing, not just on the UI. Okay, and then we've got an int duration. So we've got in our toast message something like this. And here there would be something like the duration, length long or length short. Yes, so let's look this up. What's the int value? I guess it's just 0 or 1, but nevertheless, let's have a look. So we are looking for, oh, I guess we have it here within the toast. We've still got it open. Length, there we have it. Now let's play it long. Yes, long is the value 1. Okay. And short is 0, exactly. All right, this means we have to insert on this one. And now there's one thing I always keep forgetting about this. And this is just creating this message, but to display it, we also have to call this method show. So here's a show method somewhere. There we go. Construct an empty toast object. You must call setView before you can call show. Okay, let's see. Then we can simply call this show. All right. Let's get back to this one. So dot show. Let's see if this one works out. So I'm also pretty excited because I was only playing around with text fields and things like this. I guess I didn't create a toast message with Reader till now. Let's see. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Okay, so here we can see we are getting an error. Make text argument type does not match any of. This means we're having 3 methods, so 3 overloaded methods, different types, different numbers of arguments maybe. Yes, and none of them matches ours. Okay, so let's have a look back. We are having this one. So this means the first one is the parameter context. And this should be correct. This is how we can get the context over here. All right. And then we're having this one, java-lang char sequence. So this is some kind of string, and we are providing here a string, but it doesn't seem to be recognized as a string. The last one is an integer, so I guess this one is also correct. Yes, it has to be the problem regarding to this one. Therefore, let's do it a little bit differently. Before we dive into this one, java-lang char sequence, let's first try to create a new string object and really Java string object, and then provide it over here. Because this one might be recognized as this type over here, and yeah, then it will be executed. All right, let's see how we can create a new string instance in Java. So therefore, let's have a look into the documentation. So let's search for string. Okay, that's java-lang string. And let's see, do we have a constructor or things like this? There we have it. Yes, okay, we just have to provide some chars as a value. So this should work out if you go back onto the top. There we have it. Okay, let's create a new real string object. That's the problem regarding to JavaScript. JavaScript has not such types. So this one is a string in JavaScript, but this might not be recognized as a string in Java. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't work. And here we're having now the other sometimes. All right, so let's do this. The string also no UI interaction. Therefore we can use this out of this schedule on main thread method. Okay, so text to display. We now need to get, I was a little bit too far right now. First we need to get the class reference. String class reference java.use. Okay. A string instance. This is now this one. $new. And here we're having the constructor. This is taking a char sequence, and I hope this works. Otherwise we would have to create a char sequence and then provide it over here. But let's see if this works. I mean, if not, it should crash at this point, so then we know it's not working. Alright, and now let's apply this string as a parameter in here. Because if I write this in Java code, I'm also giving a string and not a char sequence or whatever ridiculous. Because if I write this in Java, I'm also providing a string as a parameter in there. I'm not using this char sequence at all. Alright, so now let's see if this works. Let's copy this. Keep the smartphone in foreground. Get this back. We paste it in and let's see. 3, 2, 1. Oh, I mistyped. Yes. No errors. This is an amazing good sign. Once again, I did forget about something. Did I? Yes. I'm not sure why, but this happens quite often. This one is just creating an object. And if we do want to display this object, we need to call this a show method. So if we go back, not into the string, into the toast class, not this one. Okay, so here we're having this show method. And this one will make this text appear on the screen. So we also have to call this one. I know this is now really complex right now, interacting with the UI, because you need to have some Android programming knowledge, I would say. I wouldn't be able to do this if I'm not coding sometimes in Android. And that's absolutely perfect fine for you right now. Regarding to Frida, all these steps are clear. In this one we have learned this one is new, but all the rest is clear. And regarding to executing or triggering this function, unfortunately, we need to have a little bit of an programming background over here. But this might be also a good idea if you really want to go into Android hacking. I can only recommend having a basic knowledge about programming in Android. Alright? Okay. So now let's also execute this method. And now let's see. This time I do not count, we simply just fire this thing up. Amazing! It works. So I guess that's also my first toast message over here. I didn't play around with toast messages at all. Most of the time I just interacted with text views and things like this. So this is also pretty amazing for me right now. And yeah, with Frida we take a look really deep under the hood. So we have to be a little bit precise. And string in Frida seems to be different regarding to string in JavaScript. We know this right now. And yeah, this is how we can interact with the UI. Nice, isn't it? Alright, this is the last Java part. This was intense also for me right now. But regarding to the Frida approach, I mean, we can understand everything why we are using it in this way. We want to call we want to call a method, this one over here, and we have to provide these parameters, and these are now a little bit more complex parameters. We're having in context, so we are getting the application context. We're having in string, and we're having this duration. This wasn't that complex. Okay, so this is all for this video right now, and this is also the finish of our Java journey. In the next one, we will write our trainer. So we will take this Basepang application and we will perform all of our scripts we have used so far and provide them or include them as a single trainer. So this will be a lot of fun. Then we can toggle on and off certain features, and let's see how far we can go with this one. Alrighty? Alright. So I'm really looking forward to see you in the next video.